By stabilizing the ley lines, aren't we enabling Xivu Arath's forces?
We are. But we also enable our rescue efforts. Nothing is won without risk.
Ikora, I've been thinking about some things Osiris... Savathun asked me to do.
I assume these weren't in any official reports. What did she want?
Dead ghosts. A handful from Spider's personal collection.
I see. We didn't find any when we searched Saint and Osiris's home in the city. Nevertheless, it's troubling.
Queen Mara, how is it you and the Techians can use the ley lines to travel?
We can manipulate the lines, influence them with our paracausal abilities.
Me? I prefer to use causal abilities. I see one of Xivu Arath's minions. I cause it to die.
Petra, I believe I asked you to stop making that joke.
That you did, my queen. That you certainly did. Curious. Savathun orchestrates an attempted invasion of the last city by the Vex. Her plan... fails? No. A smokescreen. Her plan succeeds. But then... something goes wrong. She has to flee to the Dreaming City, parleys with the Queen. We know Xivu Arath wasn't coordinating with Savathun. She was pursuing her.
Working through a tactical analysis, Petra?
What? Ah, yes. Yes. Just trying to understand what happened between the events on Earth and here.
I have some suspicions I'll share with you later.
This place has such a unique vibration. The air hums with energy.
The paracausal forces that converge here are mighty. They will increase as you open more ley lines.
What do you think Savathun is going to do after she's freed from her worm?
What happens to Savathun is not your concern.
She helped the Guardian liberate me from Spider. I owe her.
Feel sort of a kinship with her, do you?
It's not like that.
For your sake, it had better not be. Flint, how did you decide your Guardian was the right one?
Well, I had been searching for years for my guardian. Longer than most other ghosts. But the moment I found him, I knew he was the one.
Are you sure you couldn't have searched for just a bit longer?
Nope.
Your compass was made in the distributary to guide those who departed. If Xivu Arath were to control it, nothing would stop her army from flooding the city.
Xivu Arath will never relent, as long as you possess her sister.
What does she want with Savathun?
The Witch Queen's importance stretches beyond the Hive's politics. There are greater forces at play.
Petra, I heard you used to be a Corsair. That's like what? The elite Awoken Special Forces?
Yes. Before I became part of the Queen's Guard.
Ah, that means now you mainly guard the Queen?
It means anyone who threatens Queen Mara or the Reef will have to deal with me.
Makes sense. I don't plan on doing either of those things, so I should be fine. You're quite the fighter, Petra. I'll be sure to stay on your good side.
I don't have a good side. And if I did, you wouldn't be on it.
Maybe you just can't see it because your good side is also your blind side.
Oh no.
Nobody's more blind than you, Crow. Even I can see that.
Crow, I think I can feel her sometimes.
Savathun?
Yes. It's as if she's reaching out to me, delicately, like an insect waving its antenna.
A word of advice. Don't wave back.
So, Petra, we Guardians have this tradition. It started with a good friend. Drinks after a successful operation.
What makes you think, even for a moment, I'd be interested in that?
Because you seem like you could use a break? Maybe blow off a little steam?
No.
But you haven't even heard where... Petra? Hello?
Must be a bad signal. Petra, I've noticed the Awoken don't have the same reverence for the light as humans. Why is that?
Most humans think the world only works one way. That light is good, and darkness is evil.
That may not always be true, but it's most often the case.
The light is a weapon, but it's also a tool. You know that. So do the splicers. Well, Mara says that the same is true of the darkness. But the only human who seems to understand that is Eris Morn. Believe me, you'll need more than the light to defeat what's coming.
Petra, how exactly would Xivu Arath gain access to these ley lines?
In theory, she could enter anywhere the lines pass through an ascendant realm.
Oh, we chased the High Celebrant through one of those once. Crow fell into an abyss. It was quite the adventure.
I'm sure it was. And Mara has entrusted me to protect the reef from exactly that kind of adventure.
Petra, what's the bleed through at the Guardian's location?
It's growing. It's slow. But it's making progress every day. We have to keep fighting.
Bleed through?
As the ley lines are held open, echoes of the Ascendant Plane slowly creep into our world.
That doesn't sound good.
You have a gift for understatement.
Xivu Arath will stop at nothing to destroy her sister. Hard to believe siblings could harbor that much hatred for each other.
Our loved ones inspire us. But that inspiration takes many forms. Not all of them positive.
The Elixni have a saying. The friendly knife is sharpest. Maybe that's true.
I think so. We can ask Osiris about it when we find him.
My coven grows daily, but we must hold the blind well a while longer.
Between our light and your mystical knowledge, we're pretty unbreakable. Right, cousin?
I'm not your cousin, Lightbearer. We've never seen Hive utilizing stasis. Don't you find that strange?
I've never seen a warlock pull out a golden gun either.
You may be a smartass, but you might also have made an unintentionally good point. Perhaps something about the Hive prevents them from wielding stasis.
I don't think anything is that simple. But I feel like when we try to understand the darkness, we come up short. We're children trying to understand why the moon glows in the dark. We don't know what we don't know. I don't care what Marasov thinks. This feels like it might be a bad idea.
I'm worried too, but she has all the leverage. Without her, Osiris, the real Osiris, may be lost forever.
If he isn't already dead.
We need to have hope. Otherwise, I don't know what Saint has left.
With each ley line we restore, we get closer to our lost Techians.
And Xivu Arath's army gets closer to us.
Are you there, Petra? I have a request.
Anything, my queen.
I would request your patience.
But my queen, I would find it gauche to offer the selfsame gift time and again.
Yes, but I do humbly request it nonetheless.
My queen asks, and I have no choice but to provide.
Petra, is Queen Queen Mara's magic powerful enough to keep us safe from Savathun?
Yes. Not even a hive god could break out of that prison.
That's a relief. And she's not going to get tricked or anything, right?
Glint, I trust Mara to keep her monster caged. And I hope you'll do the same.
Okay. Sorry, do you mean that you hope I'll trust her? Or that I'll...
You know exactly what I mean.
The compass points unerringly to your goals and clears obstacles from your path by the strength of your will. It will discover our lost Techians when you will it.
The Techians study both light and darkness, right?
They study paracausal forces in whatever form they manifest.
And they don't shy away from the truth, even if it comes from the darkness.
What's your point, Crow?
Savathun knows the truth about the Black Fleet. Why shouldn't we learn from her, even if she's a creature of darkness?
If you're counting on getting the truth from the Hive God of Deceit, you're already lying to yourself.
This would go faster if you give me an audience with her. She trusts me. She's smart. We could strategize.
You can speak with Queen Mara anytime you like.
I wasn't talking about Queen Mara.
I'll pretend you were, for your sake.
If we secure the Techians and remove Savathun's worm, will that end the curse on the Dreaming City?
It's a necessary step, but unfortunately not sufficient.
Is anyone else concerned that there's more to Savathun's plan than she's letting on?
I hate to admit it, but I agree. She's up to something. She's been especially curious about you. She asked me where you go when you... dissolve.
Well, that's open to interpretation, even among ghosts. Personally, I think we decompile into a quantum superposition, like ascension frequency. But unless she's planning to exist in multiple states at once, I can't imagine how that would help her. We used to dream about this. Far-off kingdoms, queens, witches, mystic adventures among the stars. Remember, Crow?
They were only stories. It passed the time.
You wrote them down like in a book. I always kept the pages on you so Spider wouldn't find them.
Glint, enough.
My brother was a storyteller too. He spun the most fabulous fables for our people's children. I have copies in my library, if you like.
That won't be necessary.
Now that we have a moment to pause, I would like to apologize for Crow's behavior. He should not have tried to gain access to Savathun.
I see my brother's boyish antics in his every move. He is a familiar pain.
He's also an outstanding guardian. His willingness to sacrifice himself to stop Xivu Arath, to save Zavala.
He is as brave as he is frustrating.
That he is.
Determined to destroy Savathun, no matter how much it costs her. Her obsession is beyond sword logic. This seems personal.
The bond between siblings surpasses any form of logic. I once had a sister myself. She was a Techian, just like those we're rescuing. She was killed in the rays of Amethyst. I still see her in my dreams and meditations. But sentiment has no place in this fight. Savathun understands that. I hope Mara does too.
Xivu Arath must be terrified of what Savathun might say.
She's not the only one. I sense the same fear from you.
I appreciate the Guardian's talent for finding lost things.
Or returning them to you, you mean?
Yes. Have I mentioned that I appreciate you as well?
We should go. Regroup. The Techians aren't going to rescue themselves.
Does it bother you in the slightest to kill Scorn, Crow?
It does, actually. I feel a deep sadness for them. In a way, they remind me of myself.
That probably comes from your time with the Elixni. I think Spider still misses you.
The Spider, the Scorn, and now Sabathun. You're an atrocious judge of character.
I liked you right away, so maybe you're right.
Mara, Zavala has asked I raise his concerns.
Yes, his concerns are all I imagine when I hear your voice.
He and Kaido have questions about the security of Savathun's crystal prison.
Oh, what should you tell Zavala and his little cabal? Tell them I raised a dragon. That I danced down the hilt of Oryx's blade. That I am Queen of the Reef.
Hidden reports indicate reduced hive activity throughout the system.
Xivu Arath's forces are poised in the Ascendant Plane, waiting to burst through the blind well. Queen's Wrath, I have a directive for you. Watching the Guardian work, I have had much time to reflect. When we are finished with Savathun, you will prepare a detachment of paladins to depart for the Tangled Shore.
Of course, my queen.
When I give the order, you and your paladins will remove the Spider and all of his loyalists from the reef. Permanently. We're so close to reclaiming our city. Soon I'll put everything back as it was.
That may be harder than you think, Queen Mara. Some broken things are not so easily mended.
I am Queen of the Reef, and I always will be. Nothing is beyond me.
You did well, Guardian. But I admit that Crow's expertise is missed. He's still a great shot.
I heard that.
Oh, you little pest. Stay off my channel and keep your shell flaps sealed.
Too late. Hey, buddy, guess what? A certain very angry knife lady says you're an amazing marksman. Best she's ever seen. He says he doesn't care. But I can tell he does. Thanks, Petra.
I doubt Xivu Arath knows what Queen Mara is planning, but she knows that every day it grows nearer.
She'll redouble her efforts, I'm sure. And with Crow gone, we're more vulnerable than before.
Aside from her unfortunate conversation with Crow, Savathun has been a model prisoner. Don't you find that odd?
Savathun can scheme all she wants. Her lies end at the point of my knife. Thank you, God. With your assistance, we may still be able to recover my remaining Techians.
They will have suffered during their imprisonment. Will they be strong enough to complete the ritual?
They must.
There's the Mara I know. Nails still black from brewing Queen's foil.
Stains like that never come out. Once my circle of Techians is reassembled, we can strike back at the Black Fleet. The coming storm will not be deterred by the knowledge of the Vanguard alone.
Knowledge is only part of a winning strategy. Courage, fortitude, and firepower are the rest.
And the Awoken have all of those in abundance.
The Guardian's presence here says otherwise. The sooner you accept your limitations, the sooner we'll find strength together. As Xivu Arath consolidates power, we're likely to face more coordinated resistance.
I expect the full weight of her force to land on the day of the ritual.
We'll be ready when it does.
The Queen in me always kept Aldrin at arm's length, even if the sister in me yearned to be closer. seeing him replaced by that guileless fool.
If I may speak frankly, my queen, Aldrin was always a fool. He was too prideful to earn your acceptance. Instead, he tried to goad your affection through insubordination.
And now, on the other side of death, he returns as an obedient servant to another ruler. The Traveler has a sense of irony, it would seem. I can barely feel them. Metaculous, lost between realms. But beyond that, in the background, there is something else. It is not Zivu Arath. It is not simple hive madness. It is as though the space between the stars has been waiting. Watching. And it hates us.
Your compass's work is almost done. We need to defend the Blind Well for just a while longer. And then Savathun will kneel before the one true queen of the reef.